The 10X Rule, The Only Difference Between Success and Failure, by Grant Cardone. Introduction. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in quicksand? Picture this. A man is 29 years old. He started his first business, full of hope, ready to take on the world. He's smart, he has a good idea, and he's willing to work. He thinks, surely, within 3 months, he'll be making the same kind of money he was at his old, comfortable job. But 3 months come and go. The money isn't there. The clients aren't showing up. The world seems to be resisting him at every turn. Disappointment begins to set in, a cold, heavy blanket. 6 months pass. Then a year. Then 2. It's been nearly 3 years, and he's only just now getting back to the income he left behind. The resistance hasn't just been external, it's become internal. He is distraught, on the verge of being completely destroyed. He's compiled a list of all the reasons why his business is failing, a list of excuses to let himself off the hook. The economy sucks. The timing is wrong. His clients don't get it. He's too young. He's ready to quit. He walks into his friend's office and says, "I can't do this anymore. I'm done." This man was Grant Cardone. And what happened in that moment of near total failure is the seed of one of the most explosive, unapologetic, and transformative business philosophies of our time. It's a book that has sold millions of copies, not because it offers gentle advice, but because it delivers a single, brutal, and powerful truth. A truth that, once you see it, you can't unsee. Today, we're going to unpack that truth. We're going to explore the core of Grant Cardone's masterpiece, the 10X Rule. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, you won't just understand a new way to set goals. You will have a new framework for understanding your own potential, a new perspective on effort, and a new way of looking at the very meaning of success. This isn't just about achieving more, it's about fundamentally changing the game you're playing. So, let's begin. Book summary. To understand the 10X Rule, we first have to understand the world it was designed to conquer. It's a world most of us live in without even realizing it. A world of average. Think about it. From the time we're young, we're taught to be realistic. We're told to set attainable goals. We're advised to seek balance in our lives. Society builds a comfortable, padded room for us called the middle class and tells us that getting inside is the ultimate prize. It's a world built on a lie, Cardone would say. And the lie is that average is a safe place to be. But average, he argues, is a failing formula. It's the most dangerous level of action you can take. Why? Because the world isn't stable. The economy shifts, industries collapse, unexpected challenges arise. When you're operating at an average level, just doing enough to get by, any slight disruption can send you tumbling down. The average worker reads less than 1 book a year, while the most successful CEOs read more than 60. Average thinking and average action will get you average results, which, in a world of constant change, eventually leads to failure. Cardone breaks down all human action into 4 distinct levels, or degrees. The first is doing nothing. These are the people who have essentially given up on their dreams. The second degree is retreating. These are people who take action in reverse, running away from challenges and failures, convinced that it's safer to hide. The third degree, and the most common, is taking normal levels of action. This is the trap. This is the level that creates the middle class, the level that society tells us is acceptable. People here do just enough to seem normal, to create an average life, but they never do enough to create real, lasting success. And then there is the fourth degree of action. The one that all top achievers use, whether they know it or not. Massive action. This is the heart of the 10X Rule. It's a simple, 2-part philosophy. First, You must set targets for yourself that are 10 times bigger than what you believe you want. Second, you must take 10 times the action you believe is necessary to achieve those targets. Massive thoughts must be followed by massive action. Let's break that down, because it's more profound than it sounds. First, the goals. Why set goals that seem impossible? Because, as Cardone says, small, realistic goals don't have enough fuel to get you through the resistance you will inevitably face. Who gets excited about an average payoff? When the journey gets tough, and it always does, a small goal won't be enough to keep you going. You'll quit. But a massive goal, a goal that truly inspires you, a goal that is just out of reach, that kind of goal becomes an obsession. It keeps your attention. And even if you fall short of a 10x goal, you will have accomplished far more than if you had achieved a goal 1/10 the size. Would you rather come up short on a goal to make $1 million, or a goal to make 100,000? Cardone practices this relentlessly. He writes his goals down every single day, once in the morning and once before bed. And he writes them as if they have already happened. I own 5,000 plus apartments with positive cash flow. My net worth is over $100 million. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's the process of programming his mind for a reality that he is actively creating. But a 10x goal is useless without its other half, 10x action. This is where Grant Cardone's story of near failure becomes so important. When he was on the brink of quitting his first business, he had a realization. He hadn't misjudged his product or the market. He had wildly, catastrophically underestimated the amount of effort it would take to succeed. So he stopped making excuses and made a new commitment. Instead of making 2 or 3 sales calls a day, he started making 20 or 30. He took the level of action that others considered unreasonable, and immediately, the market started to respond. He wasn't just working harder, he was operating on a completely different scale. This is a universal principle. Every project you ever undertake will require more time, energy, and money than you initially planned for. There will always be unexpected events, economic changes, legal issues, competition, people problems. The 10x rule accounts for this. It prepares you for the storm. By aiming for 10 times the results, you automatically start taking 10 times the action, which ensures you can blast through any obstacle that comes your way. This philosophy, however, requires a radical shift in your entire worldview. It requires you to abandon the comfortable lies that society has taught you and adopt a new set of truths. The first new truth is this: success is not an option. It is your duty, your obligation, and your responsibility. This is perhaps the most powerful idea in the entire book. For Cardone, success isn't something that might or might not happen. It's an ethical issue. Failing to live up to your potential, he argues, is a disservice to yourself, your family, your company, and your future. Good parents don't see taking care of their children as an option. They will do whatever it takes. You must approach success with that same level of non-negotiable commitment. When you see success as a duty, you stop making excuses. You stop treating it casually. You start doing what is necessary, not just what is comfortable. The second new truth: there is no shortage of success. Many of us are raised with a scarcity mindset. We believe that if someone else wins, it means there's less for us. Success is treated like a lottery, with only a few winners. This, Cardone insists, is a complete myth. Success is not a commodity like gold or silver that you have to find. Success is something that is created. It's created from ideas, creativity, ingenuity, and persistence, things that have no limits. Warren Buffett's success doesn't limit your ability to create wealth. Steve Jobs creating the iPhone didn't stop Mark Zuckerberg from creating Facebook. When you see someone else succeed, it shouldn't be a source of envy. It should be a confirmation that success is possible for everyone, a sign that you should be thinking bigger. And the third, and perhaps most difficult, new truth: you must assume control for everything. This is the principle of radical responsibility. Cardone puts it bluntly: nothing happens to you. It happens because of you. This means no blame, no victimhood, and no excuses. If your car gets rear-ended, a victim says, "Look what happened to me." A 10x thinker asks, "How could I have prevented this? Could I have left earlier, taken a different route, been so successful that my clients came to me instead?" It sounds extreme, but the point isn't to blame yourself in a negative way. The point is to empower yourself. When you take responsibility for everything, you gain the power to change anything. Victims have problems. Responsible people create solutions. An excuse is never the real reason something did or didn't happen. It's just a story you tell yourself to feel better. And successful people are not interested in feeling better about failure. They are interested in creating success. Once you have this new philosophical foundation, that success is your duty, that it is abundant, and that you are in control, you can begin to embody the mindset of a 10x operator. First, you must become obsessed. Obsession, in our culture, is often treated like a disease. But Cardone sees it as a gift. He asks, "Show me one person who achieved greatness without being obsessed on some level." You can't. To create a 10x reality, you must be completely dominated by your mission. It should be the first thing you think about in the morning and the last thing you think about at night. This obsession is the fire that fuels massive action. Until the world sees that you are 100% committed, that you are not going away, they won't take you seriously. You have to build your fire so big and so hot that people feel compelled to sit around it in admiration. This obsession leads naturally to the next principle: go all in and overcommit. Forget the old advice to undercommit and overdeliver. Cardone calls that ridiculous. Why would you ever want to manage people's expectations downward? Instead, overcommit and then overdeliver. Make promises so big that they force you to operate at 10x levels just to meet them. This is about committing first and figuring out the details later. Most people wait until they have everything figured out before they commit, but by then, the opportunity is gone. The most creative and powerful problem solving happens after you've fully committed, after you've jumped out of the plane and have to figure out how to build the parachute on the way down. This mindset is especially critical during hard times. The rule is, expand, never contract. During an economic downturn, the entire world is screaming at you to be careful, to save, to pull back. The masses retreat. This, for a 10x thinker, is the green light to attack. Contraction is a form of retreating, and it violates the core of the 10x rule. While his competitors were cutting staff and promotional budgets, Cardone eliminated his own salary and poured that money back into his business, expanding his footprint while everyone else was shrinking theirs. He says, "I would rather die in expansion than die in contraction. I would rather fail pushing forward than in retreat." This is how you don't just survive a downturn, you dominate it. As you start taking this kind of massive action, you're going to feel something that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid: fear. But for the 10x operator, fear is the great indicator. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a green light. It's a compass pointing you directly toward what you need to be doing. If you're afraid to make that sales call, that's the exact call you need to make. If you're nervous about that presentation, it means you must do it. An absence of fear means you're just doing what's comfortable, and comfort will never lead to success. The way to conquer fear is to starve it. And fear's favorite food is time. The more time you give it, the stronger it grows. So you must act immediately. When you feel the fear, move. Don't prepare, don't analyze, don't hesitate. Act now. As you start to move with this kind of speed and force, you'll find that the old rules no longer apply. You'll begin to understand that competition is for sissies. The goal is not to compete with others. It is to dominate your sector so completely that when people think of your industry, they think of you. Competing keeps you focused on what other people are doing, limiting your creativity. Dominating means you create a new game. How do you dominate? You do what others refuse to do. Find their best practices and then create your own only practices, things that only you are willing to do. Maybe your competition won't work on Saturdays. So you work on Saturdays. Maybe they won't make personal visits. So you make personal visits. This is how you create an unfair advantage. The ultimate goal of this domination is omnipresence. You want your name, your brand, and your company to be everywhere, all the time. Think of Coca-Cola, Google, Apple. These brands are so pervasive they have become part of our daily lives. This should be your goal. Your biggest problem is not competition, it's obscurity. People don't know who you are. The only way to break through that obscurity is with a relentless, overwhelming flood of action. Cardone tells the story of how, in response to critics, he made it his mission to become so successful that they couldn't escape him. He wrote books, did hundreds of radio interviews, and posted on social media thousands of times until people were saying, "I see your name everywhere." That is omnipresence. And it came not from a huge advertising budget, but from a massive expenditure of energy, effort, and creativity. As you pursue this path, you will inevitably be criticized. And criticism is a sign of success. When you start taking massive action, you will get attention. And when you get attention, people who are taking less action will start to judge you. They will call you a workaholic, obsessive, or greedy. This is not because you are doing something wrong. It's because your success is a mirror that reflects their own lack of action, and it makes them uncomfortable. You must expect this. Welcome it. Criticism precedes admiration. Keep succeeding, and eventually, the people who criticized you will be asking you for advice. This brings us to a controversial but critical point. Customer satisfaction is the wrong target. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about your customers. It means that your primary focus must be on customer acquisition. You cannot satisfy a customer you don't have. Many companies become so obsessed with satisfying their existing customers that they fail to aggressively go out and get new ones. The most successful brands in the world focus first on getting the customer, and then on over-delivering to keep them happy. Your goal isn't just to make your current customers happy, it's to solve the problem of non-customer satisfaction, all the people who are dissatisfied because they don't even have your product yet. So, how do we put all of this together? How does a 10x person actually live and operate day to day? In the final part of the book, Cardone lays out the traits of successful versus unsuccessful people, creating a clear roadmap. Successful people have a can-do attitude. They believe they can figure anything out. They see problems as opportunities. They love challenges. They persist until they succeed. They take risks. They are willing to be unreasonable, to break traditional ideas, because they know that all progress depends on the unreasonable person. They focus on now and take action immediately, understanding that procrastination is the ultimate enemy. They are dedicated to continuous learning, knowing that their growth depends on it. They are willing to be uncomfortable, because they know that comfort is the enemy of progress. They reach up in their relationships, surrounding themselves with people who are more successful than they are. And above all, they are disciplined, not just in their work, but in maintaining these very habits. To get started, Cardone says, is simple. Don't overthink it. Make a list of your 10x goals. Then make a list of actions you can take today to move toward them. And then, without hesitation, start taking those actions. Don't get lost in the how. The how reveals itself through action. He shares the incredible story of how he landed his own TV show. His goal was massive: to become synonymous with sales training worldwide. One of the actions he identified was to get a TV show. He had no connections, no experience, and no idea how to do it. But he committed first. He told his wife, "I'm going to get a TV show." He started making calls, facing constant rejection from people telling him it was impossible. But he persisted. When he finally got a call from a production company that saw one of his YouTube videos, he didn't hesitate. They said they'd like to meet. He said, "Great, I'll be in New York at the end of the week," even though he had no trip planned. He committed first and figured out the details later. He went all in, and through a series of massive, unreasonable, and persistent actions, he made it happen. That story is the 10x rule in action. It's a testament to the idea that it's not about intelligence, or luck, or connections. It is about a willingness to think at a scale that others find absurd, and to follow up that thinking with a level of action that others find impossible. It is the understanding that success is not something you wish for. It is something you have a duty to create. Commentary. As we step back from the raw, relentless energy of the 10x rule, what are we left with? This is not a book of gentle encouragement. It's a bucket of ice water to the face. It's a challenge, a dare, and for many, a necessary wake-up call. The most powerful lesson, I believe, is its profound redefinition of effort and potential. We live in a world that praises working smart, not hard. We're told to find shortcuts and seek efficiency. And while those things have their place, Cardone reminds us that there is no substitute for sheer, overwhelming, massive action. He forces us to ask ourselves a difficult question: am I truly operating at my full capacity, or have I simply accepted the limitations that others have placed on me? The idea that success is a duty is particularly jarring, and incredibly effective. It shifts success from the realm of desire to the realm of responsibility. When something is just a desire, it's easy to give up on. We can make excuses. We can rationalize failure. But when something is a duty, a moral obligation, the entire dynamic changes. You no longer have the option to quit. You have a responsibility to see it through, for the sake of your family, your future, and your own untapped potential. So, how can you start applying this electrifying philosophy to your own life, right now? Here are 3 simple actions you can take today. First, perform the 10x goal exercise. Take the most important goal you have right now, whether it's for your education, your career, or your personal life. Now, multiply it by 10. Don't just double it. Multiply it by 10. If your goal is to save $1,000, make it $10,000. If your goal is to get an A in one class, make your goal to get an A in every class and become a mentor to other students. Write this new, massive goal down. Don't worry about how you'll achieve it. Just sit with it. Feel the shift in your energy. What new thoughts does it spark? What new actions does it demand? This simple exercise can break you out of the prison of realistic thinking. Second, for the next 24 hours, use fear as your compass. We all have those little moments of hesitation throughout the day. The fear of raising your hand in class, of speaking to someone new, of starting that difficult project. For just one day, whenever you feel that spark of fear, treat it as a command. The moment you feel it, move. Don't think. Act. This isn't about being reckless, it's about training yourself to starve fear of its favorite food, time. You will be amazed at what you can accomplish when you close the gap between thought and action. And third, take back control of your time. For the rest of the day, be ruthlessly aware of where your minutes are going. Notice the time spent scrolling on your phone, watching videos, or just drifting. Cardone argues this isn't about balance, it's about priorities. He would tell you that happiness and fulfillment don't come from relaxation, they come from purpose and accomplishment. Identify just 1 hour of wasted time today and reinvest it into an action that moves you toward your 10x goal. That was a deep dive into the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. We've explored the core principles today, but I have to be honest with you. A summary, no matter how detailed, is like looking at a photograph of a feast. You can see what's on the table, but you can't taste the food. The real power of this book is in the way Cardone's relentless energy jumps off the page and grabs you. It's in the way his stories make you feel that anything is possible. This summary is your map, designed to show you if this is a journey you want to take. If anything we've discussed today has sparked a fire in you, I urge you to get a copy. Reading it isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's an experience that could fundamentally change your definition of what you're capable of. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Your support helps us continue to grow and learn together. Thank you for joining me.